fight like a roaring fight, grit during dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch replay. Highlights while scores collide, it's a riot live tonight. Blades drawn, bold on the chalkboard slate, rivals clash, it's a heavyweight fate. Every second pounding, can't wait. Evening sports buffet.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's September the 9th.
Highlights while scores collide, it's a riot live tonight.
Another edition of Early Evening Sports Buffet with Ginch. I am Fred Ginch, Ryan Neff.
Every second pounding, can't wait.
We witnessed a quarterback in the first half better than the other quarterback, and then it was flipped. Just remember that. I am. Again, welcome to another episode. What did we witness yesterday, by the way? Thanks for joining, wherever you're tuning in from. The Ginch Meister, Mike Fuji says, yes, sir, I am the Ginch Meister. The Gincharama, the Gincharino, if you will. But look, yesterday's game, obviously Minnesota came back and won. I fell asleep during the third quarter because I'm old and I need sleep. I did catch the highlights of the last quarter and a half. And I'll just say this. Look, I was never sold on Caleb Williams as a QB. When he was under Lincoln Riley, it was backyard ball. That he still had to know how to maybe to read a defense. It was just find the open receiver and throw it to him. We see glimpses of him and what he can do. The quarterback position is about consistency. And this is year 2. This is his 18th game. And again, you see glimpses, and then you see flashes of deer in a headlight. He played well in the first half. Played really well in the first half. But then again, you see stuff come out where he misses open receivers, or the one play where he checked down. I think it was, I can't remember, it was to Swift, but he had a Dunze. Safety cheated up. The Dunze ran past the cornerback, and the Dunze was wide open for a touchdown, and he missed it. And those are the kinds of things you're supposed to see in your 18th game. And look, Minnesota's defense, they made the adjustments. They made better adjustments than what Chicago did. That's what it boiled down to. And J.J. McCarthy, he had it rough in the first half. Threw the pick 6. But then made the adjustments. Played with a little bit more confidence. Threw a couple of touchdown passes, ran for another. And clearly in the second half, J.J. McCarthy was the better of the two quarterbacks. But look, I'll say this till the day I die. When you can run the football consistently, it takes the pressure off the quarterback. It opens things more for the quarterback. When you can turn and hand the ball off, when you can click off 4 or 5 yards of carry, the quarterback gets a little bit more comfortable, and the defense starts to open up a little bit. So let's go to said game from yesterday, and then I will get into other things, news and notes from around the world of sports. So if we go to the box score from yesterday's game, as soon as it pops up here. For the Vikings, McCarthy was 13-20 for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Jordan Mason, 15 carries, 68 yards. Now, they only used Aaron Jones 8 times out of the backfield. That needs to change. A lot of people think that Jordan Mason will become the RB1 I am not one of those people. You didn't trade for Aaron Jones to have him be your second stringer. Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson each had 44 yards receiving. They each caught a touchdown. Leading tackler was Joshua Metellus. For the Bears, Williams was 21 of 35, 210 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Remember, I think he completed the first 10 passes of the game. He was 11 of 35 after that. So, again, you see glimpses, defense made the adjustment, and then after that, he kind of looked lost. He was the leading rusher, 6 carries, 58 yards, and a touch. DeAndre Swift, 17 carries for 53 yards. DJ Moore, 3 receptions and 68 yards, was the leading receiver. Noah Sewell, 9 total tackles. Of course, if we go to the overall team stats, both teams were abysmal on third down, by the way. They were both 3 of 12 on third down, which is horrible. Neither of them really went for it on fourth down. Chicago went for it on the fourth down once, and they missed it. They each turned it over once. Rushing yards were even. Passing yards were basically even. It's just like I said. After they came out of halftime, I get it. McCarthy threw the pick 6. It was 17-6 at one point. Chicago was up. He thought maybe it was Chicago's night, but then Minnesota made the adjustments, both offensively and defensively. They basically shut Chicago down in the second half offensively, other than that late touchdown. And the Vikings, you could just see it. They made the adjustments. They were running the football. It freed up J.J. McCarthy a little bit more. He gained the confidence. And again, when you have, much like the Eagles, when Jalen can hand it off to Saquon, Saquon's ripping up 4, 5, 6 yards of carry. You feel more comfortable about the situation. When you can lean on that run game and you can lean on the offensive line, and the running game is working. And again, as much as it is a passing league, I will say it till the day I die. If you can run the football consistently, it just opens everything else up. If you can't run the ball consistently, especially in December and January, you're not making it to February. So that's just the way it is. Some news and notes from around the world in sports, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as, again, this updates. We all know about George Brittle. I call him George Brittle because he's always hurt. He's on the IR, which means he'll miss at least the next 4 games. Anyway, kicker Jake Moody, go figure. So Moody is gone as your field goal kicker. They also have some other injuries. Juwan Jennings got hurt. And again, part of the NFL is availability. And you need to stay healthy. And it looks like the 49ers are getting bitten by the injury bug again. Philadelphia Eagles fans rejoice. The NFL is fining him $57,222, which is pocket change, by the way. And they're also saying that the fact that he missed the entire game basically on Sunday will serve as his 1-game suspension. Whatever. Again, I thought they should have suspended him for another game, and I think they should have suspended Dak or fined Dak. If you're going to stand behind your offensive lineman and spit through the 2 of them down toward where Jalen Carter was, why don't you get fined? I know he didn't spit on him, but you're still spitting. You're spitting in his direction. He was just spitting down to the turf, which is disgusting, by the way. If things aren't bad enough for Tyreek Hill, his estranged wife is accusing him of domestic violence on 8 separate occasions. Again, why would even if he asked for a trade, why would anybody want to put up with that headache? And if this comes out and he wants to be traded somewhere, no one will take him on. Maybe someone will be foolish enough if all this turns out to be false. Reported by ESPN. That would be ESPN. And I'll just read the article here. According to documents obtained by TMZ, Keita Vaccaro alleges 8 separate incidents of domestic violence in filings related to the couple's divorce case. Of course, Hill's attorney said in a statement yesterday that the allegations are part of a shakedown, adding that they are an attempt to generate bad media coverage for Tyreek. According to TMZ, Vaccaro alleges that the first incident occurred in January 2024, about 2 months after her marriage to Hill. Hill has not been criminally charged, and it was unclear as of Tuesday morning whether law enforcement was investigating Vaccaro's allegations. Remember, April 8th, Vaccaro filed a petition for a divorce on April the 8th, one day after police reported a domestic dispute between her and Hill. Look, he has a history of this. I'm hoping it's not true. If they investigate it, he obviously has issues, other issues that need to be addressed, whether it's his mental illness. He has mental illness, his mental state. We don't know. We'll keep an eye on that. The Pittsburgh Steelers, ladies and gentlemen, they are signing Jabril Peppers in wake of the Deshaun Elliott injury. Reported by Brooke Pryor, ESPN. Looks like Deshaun Elliott has some sort of knee injury, so they are bringing in Mr. Peppers. Injuries mounting already. The Giants' Micah McFadden, he has a foot injury. He will miss significant time, reported by Jordan Raiden of ESPN. Doesn't say how long he will be out, but unfortunately, he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. Anybody who watched the new kickoff rules, there was a massive uptick in NFL kickoff returns in week 1. I can't stand the rule. I think it's bullshit. Go back to the way it used to be. But look, anything for safety, I guess. They outlawed the wedge. Then it was just regular kickoffs. When they had the kickoff rule last year, and now whatever idiotic kickoff rule they had this year. Again, just go back to the old kickoff rules. Or, if you're going to go back to the old kickoff rule, everybody needs to be set. Can't move. You know how players would make a running start. Just kick it off and run down the field. If you don't think players can still get hurt even with this new kickoff rule, you're smoking something. Because that's just part of the game. Guys are going to get hurt. It's a contact sport. Concussions, knee injuries, all kinds of stuff. Whether it's 11 on 11, offense against defense, or if it's a kickoff. Doesn't matter what rule they come up with. You're still going to have injuries. Doesn't matter what they do. Just go back to the way it used to be. But the NFL always has to tinker. And what are you going to do? So those are some of the top headlines of the day. I will go to the NFL. Other news and notes. Sorry, those were the NFL headlines. Some other headlines from around the country and around the world. Josh Giddey has agreed to a 4-year, $100 million dollar extension with the Bulls. The Bulls. Again, he is a up and coming star in the NBA. So he has signed that 4-year, $100 million extension with the Bulls. From the world of college football, Ohio State's Ryan Day is not a fan of proposed transfer portal changes. I saw this the other day and I forgot to mention it. This was reported by Max Olson Investment. I forgot to actually mention it last week. Last week, the NCAA announced last week that the FBS Oversight Committee voted to move the winter transfer portal window from December to January, shifting to a 10-day period that would start on January 2nd, 2026. The committee also supported eliminating the spring transfer window in April, meaning FBS players would have 10 days in January to enter their name in the NCAA transfer portal if they wish to transfer to another school for the 2026 season. The Division I Administrative Committee must approve the legislative changes before they go into effect. They have to make that by October the 1st. But Day is, quote unquote, Day said, I don't think it's a good idea at all. And the conversations we had with the Big Ten coaches, I think the majority of them agree. I just don't quite understand how teams that are playing in the playoffs are expected to make the decisions and sign their upcoming players while they're still getting ready to play for games. It doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I will say this to the NCAA. Why not wait until the season is over? Don't have any transfer portals. Play the national championship game. After the national championship game, then you have a 10-day window in January to transfer wherever you need to transfer. And once that window is shut, you're done. No spring transfers, no December transfers, none of that shit. Play the season. You get through the bowl games, you get through the playoff, and then when the playoff is done, you have that 10-day window. And then once that 10-day window is closed in January, it's done. You're stuck wherever you are if you decide not to transfer. Because the way it's set up now, still doesn't make any sense. Not to me, anyway. This is reported by the Associated Press, by the way. The family of Wander Franco has had him detained and admitted to a clinic. Remember, he was found guilty earlier this year of sexually abusing a minor. He was detained by police today and admitted into a clinic in the Dominican Republic for mental health issues. The request to have him detained and admitted came from his family. Police spokesman Colonel Diego Pesquera told the Associated Press. He noted that Franco's admittance into a private clinic in his hometown of Bani is not linked to any legal issues. So hopefully he gets the help that he needs. Mental health, very important. Just as important as your physical health. Erling Haaland scored 5 times against Norway. World Cup qualifying. They pummeled Moldova 11-1 today. They stay atop the Group 1 table with 15 points in 5 games, putting pressure on Italy. Yes, the World Cup is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. And the Toronto Blue Jays have placed shortstop Bo Bichette on the 10-day injury list. Pardon me while I take a sip of my beverage. So, A little bad news for Toronto. Hopefully he can get back. Again, went over the NFL news. Let's go to Major League Baseball, shall we? Went over the standings yesterday. Let's look at the scores from yesterday, which most of you have probably taken a look at. But I will go over them again as soon as it pops up on my screen here. Again, I don't have like a regular computer. I have a laptop, so I got all kinds of stuff that I have to look at. And I can't look at it on the laptop because if I get out of one window and go to the other window, you're going to see me freeze. So I got all kinds of stuff going on. So yesterday, the Guardians beat the Royals 10-2. Nationals all over the Marlins 15-7. Phillies beat the Mets 1-zip. Mets fading, as they always do. Rays over the Cubs 4-1. The Rangers over the Brewers 5-0. Twins hammered the Angels 12-3. Padres beat the Reds 4-3. That was in 10 innings. Mariners beat the Cardinals 4-2. Giants beat the Diamondbacks 11-5. Red Sox blanked the Athletics 7-0, and the Dodgers over the hapless Rockies 3-1. In action tonight, full slate. Right now, top of the fourth, the Pirates and the Orioles are tied at 1 apiece. Bottom of the fourth, Guardians up on the Angels 1-zip. Top of the third, Nationals over the Marlins 3-1. Bottom of the second, Phillies over the Mets 3-0. Mid first, Tigers, Yankees scoreless. Bottom of the first, Astros up on the Blue Jays 2-0. Top of the first, Cubs, Braves scoreless. Later on, Rays at White Sox, Brewers at Rangers, Twins at Angels, Reds at Padres, Cardinals at the Mariners, Diamondbacks at the Giants, Red Sox at the Athletics, Rockies were at the Dodgers. Just trying to look over some other news and notes from Major League Baseball. The Royals get back Mr. Witt and Mr. India back from injuries. Again, Kansas, like a lot of teams, are still mathematically alive for a wild card. So they're making the playoff push. Let's go to the ladies in the WNBA. Scores from yesterday, the Dream beat the Sun 87-62. Nice slate on tonight in the WNBA. Right now, end of the first, the Liberty over the Mystics 19-12. Later on, Lynx at the Fever, big one. The Sky at the Aces, Sparks at the Mercury, Valkyries at the Storm, which should be a nice game there. Again, I went over the soccer yesterday. Didn't see any outstanding NHL news. We are probably, 4 weeks away from training camps for the NHL. Goes quick. Football goes quick. Summer goes quick. We're already into the almost second. We're into the second week of October, September already. Again, and we have the Olympics coming up. Winter Olympics, I believe. I'm just looking over the ticker here to see if there's any major league info coming across the wires. 17 days, 16 days, it's the Ryder Cup. Hopefully the Americans can step up. We all know that the Europeans have had a stranglehold on the Ryder Cup. In a couple of weeks, I will have Harry Mays on to talk Ryder Cup golf. He is a golf aficionado, loves to talk golf, loves to play golf. I like to talk golf. I like to play golf. I don't play it well. I play military golf, left, right, left, right, left, right, never straight. So I'm going to go back to the NFL. So how did your favorite team do, by the way? How did they look? Were you pleased with how your team played? Did they suck? What do you think they can improve on? Where do you think they might have surprised you? Questions, comments, criticisms, always welcome. After week one, ESPN came out with their rankings already. And I'll just go through the list here. In the 32nd position, they have the Saints. 31st position, they have the Giants. Carolina Panthers, they have in the 30th position. The Browns, 29th. The Titans, 28th. Patriots, 27th. A little disappointing from the Patriots this weekend. The Dolphins, 26th. We're just a friggin' dumpster fire right now. McDaniels lost the team. Again, they're horrible. I don't know what kind of effort they're going to put up this weekend. I don't think McDaniel makes it through the season. I really don't, as the head coach. They have the Jets in the 25th position, which is a little shocking because they really did play well against the Steelers. Again, the brain cramp with the personal foul, tackling guy out of bounds, the drop punt, all in the second half. There was no business why the Jets should have lost that game. 24th, they got the Bears. 23rd, the Colts. They have the Jaguars in the 22nd position. The Vegas Raiders, 21st. The Seahawks, 20th. They have the Cowboys in the 19th position in their power rankings after week one. The Cardinals, 18th. The Falcons, 17th. The Texans, 16th. The Steelers, 15th. 49ers, 14th. Although the 49ers are dealing with injuries right now. They have the Vikings, 13th. The Bengals, 12th. The Broncos, 11th. They have the Buccaneers, 10th, which I didn't think the Buccaneers looked all that great against the Falcons. So they have the Chargers, 9th. They have Detroit, 8th. Their power rankings. Did you see Detroit against Green Bay? They have them 8th. They have the Rams, 7th. The Commanders, 6th. The Chiefs, 5th. No. I'm not a homer. Chiefs are not going to be that good this year. Packers, 4th. The Ravens, 3rd. The Eagles, 2nd. And they've got the Buffalo Bills after week one, 1st in their power rankings. I see a lot of discussion on the whole Giants situation with Russell Wilson. Again, this is the Russ we've seen since 2023. He was Denver, 2022, 2023. Last year with Pittsburgh. This is no secret. This is not breaking news. He's a shell of himself. He still has wheels. He can still get himself out of trouble, but he misses open receivers. He gets flustered in the pocket. I think if he struggles this weekend against the Cowboys, I know Brian Daboll has come out and said that he's going to be the starter for week 2. But if he struggles against the Cowboys, don't be too surprised if you see Jackson Dart get plugged in. Played in the SEC, Ole Miss, played under Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has a pro-style offense. It's not like he can't read a defense. And why not? Why not? Cowboys drafted Troy Aikman back in 1989. They went 1-15. He got his ass kicked. I think that particular year, I think the Eagles sacked him 8 times the one game. Got his ass kicked. He was better for it. And they got the players around him. They tailored the offense to what he did well. And then he flourished. So why not just throw kids to the wolves? Caleb Williams, as of right now, shows glimpses. Bo Nix last year led the Broncos to the playoffs. Drake May, even though the Patriots didn't make the playoffs last year, he did well. Jane Daniels, offensive rookie of the year. Just plug them in. See what they can do. Why not? Why not put Jackson Dart in there? See what he can do. Let him take his lumps. He won't get better unless he gets playing time. I was a big proponent of Jackson Dart when he was at Ole Miss. I thought he was going to be a good NFL quarterback. Remains to be seen. Anybody will tell you, wasn't high on Caleb Williams. I thought Bo Nix would struggle last year. Prove me wrong. Thought Jaden Daniels would struggle a little bit. Prove me wrong. Now, defensive coordinators have tape on these quarterbacks now. We'll see how they do in their second year. Bo Nix did not look good against Tennessee. He did. Caleb Williams, first half yesterday was okay. Second half, again, he completed 10 of his first 11, 10 of, he was 10 of 10, completed his first 10 passes. Then he was 11 of 25, 11 of 35 after that. Defensive coordinators, when they make adjustments, you got to be able to make adjustments on the fly within a game. It's the chess match that goes on. All right. What has Minnesota done defensively? What sort of adjustments have they made that we need to now go back and tweak? Minnesota made the better adjustments yesterday. Chicago didn't. And again, Minnesota ran the ball better in Chicago yesterday too. When it mattered. In the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, Minnesota started to get that run game going. And it just opened up things for J.J. McCarthy. I don't agree with some of these power rankings that they had. The Chiefs shouldn't be fifth. Shouldn't be fifth. Again, I'm not a homer. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm not a homer. They looked horrible. They lacked enthusiasm. They looked tired, like they didn't want to be in Brazil. It was a division game. Now you're already 0-1 in division. And it won't get any better this week. The Eagles will be out to prove. I know the game is in Kansas City, but the Eagles have already beaten Kansas City in Kansas City. Eagles will be out to prove that the Super Bowl is no fluke. And it's kind of funny, unless somebody knows something that I don't. Let me check the line again. I found this kind of funny. Let me pull it up one more time because I had to do a double take when I looked at the line. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5. Did they see the Chiefs when they played the Chargers? Now the Eagles and Cowboys in the second half of their game weren't barn burners. But still, the Chiefs are 1.5 favorites at home against the Eagles. Make it make sense. I wouldn't have them favored at all. There's no way in hell. And let's pump the brakes on some of this other stuff. Look, the Dolphins defense made Daniel Jones look like Joe Montana on Sunday. Just pump the brakes a little bit, just like with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is not going to have those kinds of games every week. Just not going to happen. Again, the Jets had some brain cramps in the second half, and Rodgers exposed it. But they, for the most part, for midway between the second quarter and midway between the third quarter, they sort of had Aaron in check for a little bit. And did anybody watch the Steelers defense? I will get more into all this between the 8 and 9 o'clock hour when I transfer and transition into end zone to end zone. Again, the NFL will dominate the next month and a half until everything else gets kicked in. Once NBA starts their camps, and then once the NHL starts their camps, and that should like the beginning, middle of October, that should all be taking place. I will go back to Major League Baseball. Like I said, I went over the standings yesterday. But again, if you missed it and you don't know playoff wise in the American League right now, as it stands today, the Mariners for the wild card round would be at the Astros, and the Red Sox would be at the Yankees. And the ALDS, as it stands right now, either the Mariners or the Astros would go on the road to take on the Tigers in the 7-game. And then the Reds, or is it 5 games now? I don't know. I don't know what baseball does anymore. I'm just used to 7-game series. That's what I grew up with. And the Red Sox or the Yankees would be at the Blue Jays. But again, the Blue Jays battling some injury bugs. And we'll have to see what happens because the Yankees and the Red Sox right now are right on their tail for division lead. Wild card round in the National League right now, the Mets would be at the Dodgers in the wild card round, and the Padres be at the Cubs. NLDS, as it stands right now, the Mets or the Dodgers would travel on the road to take on the Phillies, and the Padres or the Cubs would take on the Brewers. And just for shits and giggles, I will go over the standings again after yesterday. The American League East, the Blue Jays still lead. They're 82-61. The Yankees are in second, 80-63. Again, 2 games back. The Rays are 71-72, 11 games back. They are in fourth. And the Orioles, again, having a rough season, 66-77, 16 games back. In the Central, the Detroit Tigers, even though they are not playing up to par as they were earlier in the season, they're still up on top, 82-62. The Guardians are second, 73-78, 9 back. Royals are third, 73-71, 9 back. The Twins, 64-80, 18 back, and the White Sox are 55-89, 27 back. White Sox are the only team that's been eliminated in the American League from playoff contention. Out in the West, the Astros lead the West 78-66. Mariners are 2 games back, 76-68. Rangers 75-70. They're 3.5 back. Angels 67-77, 11 back. And the Athletics are 66-79 in last place. Really, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Mariners are in the driver's seat for the wild card. So again, the wild card for the last spot, the Guardians, Royals, Mariners, and Rangers all vying for that last wild card spot. In the National League, Phillies now pulling away, 84-60. In second, the Mets, who are now shitting the bed, 76-68. They're 8 games back. Marlins, Braves, Nationals, they're basically finished. National League Central, Brewers now pulling away, 89-56. The Cubs are 7.5 back, 81-63. The Reds, Cardinals, Pirates. Yeah, look, the Dodgers and the Padres are going to battle it out for the West Division. Giants hanging tough, 7 back. Diamondbacks still mathematically in it, and the Rockies have been eliminated. So right now, the Padres, the Cubs, and the Mets are the wild cards. San Francisco is only 3 games behind the Mets. The Reds and Cardinals are only 4 games back. The Giants and Diamondbacks are only 3 or 4 games back. It is 7:41 here on the East Coast. That would be 4:41 on the West Coast. Mountain time would be 5:41, and Central time would be 6:41 on your clock, wherever you may be. So I was trying to find something else on the ticker here to see if anything flashed by. Again, golf's on kind of a hiatus for a little bit. Nothing new there. So I think I'm going to end it here. Again, NHL, I don't see anything outstanding as far as news. I got into a lot of college football yesterday on student body rights. Oh, this is what I forgot to do. Yesterday on student body right. I forgot to go over the top 25. Although I gave it away with going down the schedule and making my predictions yesterday. I'll use the AP top 25. Again, the AP top 25 and the coaches poll, they mean nothing anymore. I see a lot of people are coming around to my way of thinking. Get rid of them. They don't mean shit. They mean nothing anymore. Because they change after the first weekend. After the first 2 weeks, it's all discombobulated anyway. Get rid of them. If Phil Steele and Street and Smith and all these publications want to come out with their top 25 and they want to go through everything in depth, let them. But the AP top 25 and the coaches poll are meaningless. They don't mean shit anymore. Don't mean dick. No rankings. Let the teams play the first 7 weeks of the season and then let the college football playoff committee come out with their rankings. Because none of this means diddly squat. And again, the college football playoff committee could be consisted of coaches that coach the game, like Nick Saban, like Les Miles, and people that play college football. Get rid of the ADs. No presidents. People who eat, sleep, breathe college football 24/7, watch all the games like I do from 12 noon until like 2 in the morning, from Saturday to Sunday. So I will go over the AP top 25 as it stands right now. They've got Missouri 25th, Auburn 24th, Michigan 23rd, Indiana 22nd, Texas Tech 21st, Utah 20th, Alabama 19th, South Florida up to 18th, Ole Miss 17th, Texas A&M 16th, Tennessee 15th, Iowa State 14th. They have Oklahoma 13th, Clemson 12th, South Carolina 11th, Florida State is 10th. Illinois is 9th, Notre Dame is 8th, Texas is 7th, Georgia is 6th. Miami's 5th, Oregon 4th, LSU 3rd, Penn State 2nd, and Ohio State. They still rank numero uno after I'd say it's week 3, week 2. And another thing before I close it up here, I forgot to give you my best bets if you're betting college football this week. I do a lot of research into this. Again, it's mostly guessing anyway. Some people guess better than others. Now this stuff is going to fluctuate. The spread. In fact, let me see what the spreads are. Real quick as it pops up here. Take Indiana minus whatever the points are going to be. They have not come out with a total yet that I'm seeing on the site that I use. Indiana minus the points against Indiana State. Take Oregon minus the 27.5 against Northwestern. I know it might be a little bit of a letdown. Take Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 23.5 against Temple. Texas Tech, ladies and gentlemen. Texas Tech minus 22.5 right now against Oregon State. Take Texas Tech minus those points. As I go down the list here. Illinois, ladies and gentlemen. Illinois minus 27.5. I am laying the points. Taking Illinois. Others I have down here, Colorado and Houston, take the under in that game. Let's see. What else do I have? Buffalo. Buffalo minus 22.5 against Kent State. I am taking Buffalo minus 22.5 against Kent State. The Colorado Houston game, I'm taking the under. It's at 44.5 right now. I'm taking Iowa State minus 20.5 against Arkansas State minus 20.5 against Arkansas State. South Carolina Vanderbilt, I'm taking the under. So I have Navy minus the points, Minnesota minus the points. So I'm going to end it there. As I close out every show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody every once in a while. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get a second opportunity. And lastly, if you see somebody struggling, somebody being bullied, or just somebody struggling in general, ask questions, inquire, see what might be wrong, see if you can get somebody help, because you might just be saving a life, or you might be saving a lot of lives. So, with all that being said, I am gearing up for the 8 o'clock hour, 8 to 9 p.m., end zone to end zone, week 1 recap, and then a preview and predictions for week number 2. There's only one thing left. Dandy Don, take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.